15 building demolitions that went horribly wrong. Imagine standing in a crowd, eagerly waiting for a giant building to crash down in a perfectly controlled explosion. The countdown begins, the dynamite goes off, but instead of the perfect collapse, chaos unfolds. Buildings stand awkwardly, lean dangerously, or even fall the wrong way. These moments aren't just failures, they're disasters. Today, we're diving into 15 demolitions that went horribly wrong, showcasing moments that will leave you amazed, shocked, and maybe even a little scared. 1. Glasgow's Tower Block Fiasco, Scotland. In Glasgow, 6 aging tower blocks were set to be demolished at once. Spectators held their breath as the charges exploded. But instead of collapsing, 2 of the towers stubbornly stood their ground, partially destroyed but still standing. The crowd turned angry, and the council faced a massive headache. These half-destroyed towers were now dangerously unstable, leaving everyone wondering how to clean up the mess safely. 2. The brewery collapse that needed a push, Australia. A 50-year-old brewery in Brisbane was set to go out with a bang. Packed with over 200 pounds of explosives, the building started to collapse perfectly. But halfway through, it froze mid-fall, leaning awkwardly like it couldn't decide whether to stand or lie down. The demolition team had to call in a digger to give it a push. It wasn't the grand explosion people expected, but it finally tumbled down. 3. Fatal stadium collapse, USA. A worker in the demolition industry faced the ultimate danger while dismantling a stadium. As he cut through a metal support, the structure suddenly gave way. The building began collapsing faster than he could escape. Tragically, the incident was captured by a drone, turning a routine job into a heartbreaking reminder of the risks demolition workers face every day. 4. Leaning Tower of Liuyu, China. A 22-story tower in Yuzhou, China, was supposed to split down the middle and fall into 2 neat halves. At first, it looked like the plan was working, until the second half stopped mid-collapse. Left tilted and wobbly, the leaning tower became a bizarre, unstable eyesore that needed a wrecking ball to finish the job. Talk about a demolition fail. 5. The Broadway Bridge that wouldn't budge, USA. After 93 years of service, the Broadway Bridge in Arkansas was ready for demolition. Explosives were set, and the countdown began. But instead of collapsing, the bridge stood tall and proud, almost mocking the demolition crew. The team had to use mechanical methods to dismantle it piece by piece. A bridge that just refused to say goodbye. 6. Mad River Power Plant Disaster, USA. In Springfield, Ohio, the demolition of an 83-year-old power plant chimney took a terrifying turn. The explosives went off, but instead of falling eastward as planned, the chimney tilted toward the crowd. Spectators ran for their lives, and though no one was hurt, the mishap caused widespread panic and even knocked out power for 4,000 homes. 7. Clarion Casino's Flawless Fall, USA. Not all demolitions are disasters. In Las Vegas, the Clarion Casino was brought down in true Vegas style. Packed with 4,400 pounds of explosives, the building collapsed almost perfectly, leaving just the elevator shaft standing. It was a demolition so precise, it felt like watching a Vegas performance. 9. The tower blocks that fought back, England. In Merseyside, England, 2 15-story tower blocks resisted their planned demolition. Despite the explosives, the buildings refused to fall completely, leaving them partially intact and dangerously unstable. It was a public embarrassment for the demolition team and a reminder that even buildings can be stubborn. The stubborn Montgomery House. In the UK, the Montgomery House was set to be demolished along with its neighbor, Churchill House. Explosives were placed, the countdown began, and boom! Churchill House collapsed, but Montgomery House stood firm, barely shaken. The demolition crew tried again and again, but this stubborn building refused to go down. It wasn't until a crane and wrecking ball arrived the next day that they finally managed to finish the job. Talk about a fight to the finish. 12. The epic fail of the Pontiac Silverdome. Once a proud symbol of Detroit, the Pontiac Silverdome was scheduled for a grand demolition. Thousands gathered to witness its final moments. But when the explosives went off, nothing happened. The massive stadium just stood there, as if mocking the crowd. It took multiple attempts over days to finally bring it down, turning the demolition into a comical saga. 13. The Leaning Tower of Dallas. Dallas, Texas witnessed a demolition fail that turned into a local sensation. An 11-story office building was rigged with explosives, but when the dust settled, the central core, an elevator shaft, was still standing tall and leaning awkwardly. For over a week, it became a quirky tourist attraction dubbed the Leaning Tower of Dallas. Eventually, a wrecking ball had to finish the job. 14. Miami's unexpected collapse. In Miami, the Marlboro House demolition turned into a nightmare. The building was supposed to come down slowly, but it crumbled suddenly without warning. Debris spilled onto nearby streets, narrowly missing cars. Tragically, one worker was injured, turning the event into a sobering reminder of the risks involved in demolition. These stories show us that even the best-laid plans can go sideways. Each failed demolition reminds us of the incredible unpredictability of the world we build around us. But in every failure, there's a story worth telling, a lesson in persistence, resilience, and sometimes, a little humor. Which of these demolition fails surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Beyond Earth for more fascinating stories that reveal the unexpected wonders of our world. See you in the next video?